I got the flow. I'm about to pull up. It's wishful kindness. And I've been waiting so long. Now I gotta resurface. And everybody talks all the bread and we burn it. Cause I've been feeling cool time. I've been fucking cool time. Turn up.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to another week of Mitten State Sports Corner. I say that because we are recording in the morning. But yeah, how are you doing, guys? Welcome back to another week. We're going to touch on a little bit on some Red Wings and Tigers this week. We're going to do a little switch up. Red Wings start the training camp this week. Tigers are on a roll right now. But let's send it over to Brett with 1T. See how he's doing.
I'm tired. We had a long day yesterday. It's been a long couple weeks. I got to be honest with you. I'm feeling the effects of it this morning.
Yeah, been a long week. Wolverines yesterday. We'll get in that in a different episode, but yeah. Just another tough week. But other than that, let's jump right into our worries with the Red Wings right now, because we talked about it last time, and here we are. Training camp starts tomorrow. As of our recording on today on the 15th, and we don't have contracts for 53 or 23.
That's concerning. We talked about that a while back, and if training camp started and they weren't signed, we'd be concerned. And here we are. I don't know if it's stubbornness, if it's if it's a lack of willingness. All the things you hear is that they want to be here and we want to sign them, and it's always interesting when those things never seem to bridge the gap. When both sides want it done.
Yeah, it's I don't know who's the one being stubborn here. It sounds like obviously both sides, but so like everything that I've read from like insiders on Twitter and such, they're all saying like they're in agreement with term. It's apparently the money's the issue, and obviously something I just read this morning is that they don't want to pay him over what they pay Larkin, which is not surprising.
That's understandable.
Larkin's at 8.7, and he's the captain, heart and soul of the team. But obviously, Seider and Raymond are just right there as well, as far as important pieces of the team. And
the cap goes up, and so money changes every year, right? If they had $10 million of the salary cap, it's only fair to wonder if your next star or stars are gonna, they're gonna bump that number. That happens every year in all sports. Basketball, MLB, NFL. These guys change contract, parameters. It seems like every year. So, to me, I understand the logic behind it, but you can't necessarily compare the two because, again, it's been a couple years and times change.
So they currently have 17.6 in cap space. So say you gave Raymond Insider matching 8x8s, then you still have 1.6 left in cap.
That's if you do nothing.
And
they got a little bit of room. They could move a guy or two. They've got some depth in Grand Rapids. That'd be cheaper. Retool the fringes of the roster. So there's some ways you could open some cap space for a trade deadline acquisition should you be in the hunt.
Yeah, so I'd like to think maybe we'll get some more rumors this week, obviously, because this is going to be the first public team activity since last season. So I feel like the rumor mills are going to be flying this week, as far as where they're sitting on this.
What do you think the holdup is?
It's definitely money. I'm going to say Yzerman's probably offering them between 6 and 7.5, and I'm thinking that they're asking for between 8 and 8.5.
I think the opposite. I think the term is the problem.
Really?
I do, and I'll tell you why. You don't have this pulled up right now, but think just roughly off your head, his tenure in Tampa Bay and his tenure in Detroit. How many 5-year deals has he given out? How many can you think of? Larkin is one. Did Copper get 5 or did he get 4?
Stamkos. He signed Stamkos for a long one in Tampa, I'm pretty sure.
Copper
got 5.
So he got 5. I know.
Comper got 5.
Right. So we're not talking...
DeBrincat got 4.
Right. We're not talking a slew of players. DeBrincat's a good player. Obviously, and so he's not known to do this. He's just not. That's not what he likes to do. The money, he's hit those benchmarks even in shorter deals, right? So the AAV, I don't know, scares him because I think he knows that he wins enough trades that he doesn't have to worry about, maybe that cap space down the line, and he's also just smart at managing it. He's kind of like Brad Holmes in that regard. But I think the term bugs him because he knows that players typically will perform the first 3 to 5 years of that contract on an 8-year deal. And typically the last 3 years, are the hardest to get out of. Production dips. Teams in a much different position in a half a decade. I mean, that's just the facts. So I think that he's worried about that. And although these are great players, I don't think he'll disagree with that. I think that he's concerned with the future, which you have to appreciate. But at the same time, this is how the market works.
I don't know. I look at it a little differently. I don't think the term is the issue. I definitely do think it's the money because obviously these two players were, obviously Seider was Yzerman's first draft pick and then Raymond was his second. Mm-hmm. And they jumped into the NHL right away.
Yep. Pretty
much right away. So I definitely don't, is he really holding out on two of his franchise cornerstones?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think term is the issue when it comes to that. I think, obviously, he does realize Seider and Raymond are up there with Larkin as cornerstones of this roster, especially for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
So why wouldn't you give them 8 years? I mean, that's what they...
Well, I don't disagree with you. I mean, so, I completely agree. I mean, I think the money's where it needs to be. That 8-8, like you mentioned, is pretty much what I'm going to expect, but I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, it's concerning as a Red Wing fan because, again, those are two of our best players that are currently not going to be on the ice.
Yeah, and training camp opens up, I'm pretty sure, tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it is tomorrow. So, obviously, like I was saying earlier, I definitely do think like the rumor mill is really going to hit a high this week because obviously they're going to grill Yzerman whenever he has media availability this week because he's going to have a lot of it.
Correct.
So,
correct.
Yeah, but as far as Seider and Raymond go, so obviously we're here and they're not signed by training camp, so definitely my worry level is definitely a lot higher. Now I'm really starting to think about, well, are they going to kind of just shit the bed in a way and they're going to start the season on a holdout? Just like, and we've seen it in recent memory of a lot of players have done this.
Yeah, and it's not been something that Yzerman's dealt with, personally that I can recall. Between either team he's managed. But, I think this would be a situation where it would happen, because I think that they want to be respected as players, right? And they set the bar for their next, their fellow countrymen or teammates' contracts as well. But I'll tell you what, it sucks to have a distraction like this for a team that's making a playoff push. And you want that chemistry from day one, not day 15, not month 3, right? Like you don't want these guys to join you in the middle of October.
Correct.
It's awesome that they make the team, but you need them now.
Yeah,
they need to build the chemistry with the new players, and I don't understand.
It's especially because obviously I do definitely think they improved the roster this year. They added some holes that they definitely need to attend to, and so obviously Raymond had the career year last year. I mean, definition of having a contract year. Seider. Definitely, you could definitely see that his workload got to him a little bit. Like he was really good his rookie year. I wouldn't say like his production has decreased, but you could definitely tell he was feeling the wrath of having to play alongside a lesser counterpart every night. Yeah. And then obviously the stats show that he had the most ice time against like other teams' skilled players as well. I forget what the name of the actual stat was, but he had the top minutes against top players of the whole league.
Well, that's. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know who you put with him that he's probably not better than. Sadly, and he's a young player, but there's not many of them out there.
Right? I would love to see him with Edvinsson. Personally,
agreed. Right?
I mean, you got two tree trunks back there. Edvinsson's 6'6" and Seider's 6'4".
Can you imagine just their sweeps alone?
Exactly.
I mean, God Almighty, I don't know how you'd get the puck in the zone. I mean, I'd take him over having Buback there. That's for sure. So I mean, that's.
That's not saying much.
No, it's not. But I think you're correct. I mean, Seider plays with just a level of nastiness, right? But it's almost like a subtle nastiness. Like his play speaks for himself. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the best player on the ice most of the time.
Yeah,
and teams typically don't like to attack his side of the ice, right? So, that speaks for itself. I think that he's a major part of what this team's doing going forward. And Raymond's breakout year. Especially at the end of the year, that push.
When Larkin got hurt towards the end of the year, he definitely did step up.
It's about time because nobody steps up when Larkin's hurt, it seems like. We always have that
you're
dip.
Right, you're right.
And so it's nice to finally see somebody do it.
So training camp does start Thursday, September 19th. So that is right around the corner. So we got 4 days to get these contracts straight. Come on.
You think they pull it off? Hard prediction. Do they pull this off before training camp?
I'll feel better. So maybe I'll go on their like Instagram and like maybe on their Instagram stories they'll post like where they are. So if I see them in Michigan, then I'm feeling good. But if they're still overseas, not feeling good.
That's fair. So you're gonna stalk them. Is what you're saying?
No. But I have seen people post on like they'll post a screenshot of it on Twitter. They were together, I think in some European country just last week. I mean that's a good sign that they're together. I guess maybe
for sure.
But
or they're just friends.
I mean they are friends.
Yeah,
they are friends. But so Remy's training camp starts this week. Seider and Raymond still not signed. That's the breakdown. But we'll jump into their roster a little bit. We'll see how we're looking. So I got the depth chart pulled up right here. So they got a line one provided Raymond and Seider are not on this depth chart, rightfully so, because they are not on the team currently.
And where are you pulling this from?
This is on Puckpedia because the Washington Capitals bought Cap Friendly and made them do weird things. I don't know what that was all about. That was weird. Just Cap Friendly was awesome too.
Yeah.
But DeBrincat, Larkin, Kane. I mean, I love that first line.
I don't mind that a bit.
I love that first line. You saw the chemistry when those three did get together too.
Yep. And a full year of Kane. I am excited for that.
I love DeBrincat. I love the way he plays, but damn, do we need more consistency out of him. He had too many dry spells, man, where it was, and a lot of the time, this is obviously not a bad stat, but his even strength goals compared to his power play goals was not the best.
Well, I think we touched on this last time, and I mean, if he hits 30 goals, that's great. But if you go 15 games in between scoring goals, you get a bunch. You get 10 here in a week, and you get 10 here in another week, and you don't score the rest of the year. That's just you have to have less ebbs and flows, right? Like maybe a little bit less highs. Maybe you don't score 10 goals in a week. Maybe you score 5 goals in a week. But you score 5 goals every week, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it just has to see a little bit more consistency. And I think playing a full season with Kane will help with that. I think a lot of I don't want to say a lot of the problems, maybe his adjustments, right? We're getting back to what he knew. And he played better in the second half of the year with Kane when he played.
Correct. No, I totally agree. But like you were saying, we can't go in these double-digit goal drought games. Like he had a couple of them last year where he had like 10 to 20 games goalless streak.
I think the whole team had a goal streak in March.
Yeah, but we can't, especially if you're going to be line one and you are known as a goal scorer.
For sure. Step up.
Score.
Step up.
Jeez,
sorry,
score.
Just get it done,
But the sneaky signing that I am actually really excited about, it is honestly a typical Yzerman signing. Mm-hmm. He was a star player years back. He's still got a little bit left in the tank. Like he got traded out of like where he made his name, so he was in St. Louis, star player in St. Louis, and then he's been bouncing around. But he did win a cup last year.
Went to the Rangers. Yeah,
he went to the Rangers where he played with Kane.
Yep,
that was the year Kane went to the Rangers too.
Right,
and then he signed with the Panthers, and so Vlad Tarasenko. I love that signing honestly because that adds another counterpart to that second power play unit that didn't have the same production. So it was clearly the second unit for a reason, and they didn't really get a lot of flow going. So adding him just to the second power play unit, I think, creates a huge difference.
So who do they currently have him on a line with right now?
Comfer, it would be Raymond. And
so Comfer, Tarasenko, Raymond.
Yes, I like that.
Yep.
So that adds 2 righties and a lefty together.
Okay, who you got for line 3?
You got to go. This line did so well last year together.
Yeah,
they're just workhorses, which is Kopp, Rasmussen, and Christian Fischer. Christian Fischer was
like him.
The re-signing that I supported because he played his role so well. You could tell the guys loved him, and he worked his ass off every night. He's the definition. He doesn't have the offensive skill, but he's going to go out there and he's literally Kirk Maltby.
Yeah,
he's Kirk Maltby.
That's a big comparison, but you're right. I mean, it's the same kind of player. So Kopp, Rasmussen, Fischer.
Yes.
Which fills line 4 with Veleno.
Tyler Mott, I like the Tyler Mott signing.
And somebody from GR.
Tyler Mott adds a great penalty kill presence. that we've been needing.
Yeah, maybe Bergeron on that line.
Yes, I definitely do think Bergeron's going to be up. So, and with obviously Veleno's got some offensive upside too.
Sure.
So adding those two together, so maybe you could flip flop the Veleno Mott.
Yeah, Veleno
Bergeron
really stepped up on faceoffs
with
last
Kopp,
year.
Mott, and Rasmussen. They can flip flop 3 and 4.
They had Veleno in some pretty high leverage situations last year for faceoffs, and I was very impressed that, if you remember a few years back, and I'm not here to compare the two players, Glendening was not a major offensive producer ever, but he took some of the most high leverage faceoffs that the Wings had, and Veleno has stepped into that role. But he does provide a little more offense, I do think, and Veleno's faster. I think that, he hit 20 goals last year, right?
Who, Veleno?
Did he hit 20?
I don't think he got 20.
He stepped up, though. He played well. How many did he have last year?
I'm looking it up.
Because, he definitely showed a little more offense. Granted, he
12.
was... Okay, so my apologies. So, he stepped up a little bit last year, but I think that he can definitely hold that similar role as Glendening had, and be able to be that face-off specialist that every team really needs.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's times where Larkin goes out there and lays eggs for a few games in a row on faceoffs. Granted, he's your best offensive producer, but get in there, win that faceoff, rotate your guys around, swap Veleno out, get Larkin back on the ice, right? That's something that's a strategy. It's more versatility that Lalonde has to work with.
Veleno re-signed on a 2-year, $2.275.
I love it.
Which good value. I mean, I think that's good value for a third or fourth line guy. So,
I think if he had more ice time, he'd be able to pot 20 easy.
If you put him in the right setting, obviously, if you put him with Kane and DeBrincat, he could definitely pop 20 because of who he's playing with. But if you have him down with Tyler Mott and whoever, I think the 12 goals, 60 assists like he had last year is a good ceiling for him.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll jump down to defense. Obviously, defense is a sore spot for the Red Wings.
I don't know why they haven't addressed this.
So the only upside is obviously we are going to get a full season of Edvinsson up with the big club.
They have to.
There's no
that or trade him. And I say that because it's it kills me to watch him sit down there.
He jumped in at the end of the season, and he's clearly
he's the best player on the ice besides Seider.
Exactly. As far as defense goes, yes, I totally agree. And especially when you bench around Jeff Petrie out. Jesus.
God, fans,
come on.
I think you guys are well aware of my thoughts on Petrie. You're telling me Edvinsson's not better than Petrie.
So that's where I didn't understand of why stuffing Edvinsson and GR for most of last year. I don't understand it. I did, and I don't know.
Brett, I can tell you
somebody can explain it to me, but
at the Michigan game yesterday, right? We were at the tailgate,
mm-hmm.
and I'm pretty sure when we parked the car to walk to the stadium, we passed a few parking posts that are better than Jeff Petrie. I'm telling you
traffic
right
cones?
Now, maybe a couple traffic cones, some construction barrels.
Pylons.
All of these items are better than Jeff Petrie at defense. And I can't stand it. I cannot stand seeing him. Now, I'm going to tell you, 6 years ago,
oh, I'd have loved it.
Absolute stellar defenseman. I'm not saying the talent's not in there. It's not in there anymore. And it's not accessible anymore. And again, if we saw him on the street, I'm still going to shake his hand. I'm still going to tell him thanks, for your contributions. It's just time to admit that he is not a first, second, or third pairing defenseman. You can be a seventh guy, that guy that if you're hurt, you got some injury on the back end, you can throw him in there as a third pairing guy to fill depth. But nothing more. That guy should not start hockey games.
We're going to take a quick moment here to honor our sponsors of today's episode. So we're going to start with Crystal Fieldhouse over in Burton, Michigan. It is our home of Beer League Sundays. If you ever want to do a birthday party, you want to do some public skate, some stick and puck, join an adult hockey league, get into some youth hockey league, or do some figure skating, go see Crystal Fieldhouse in Burton, Michigan. We thank you to Michelle for sponsoring us this coming year, and look for our smiling faces on some banners on both rinks this year.
Thank you to FiberLink Communications in Lapeer, Chad, Debbie, Tina, Joel, and the rest of the crew. Thank you so much. M&M4 Properties, Marco and Marissa Mercino, thank you so much for all your support. DCC Construction, thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. And also Winged Helmet Media, thank you, Chris, for being a part of this, man, and we're really looking forward to doing some things with you in the future. So, thank you all.
Well, I'll let you know something. I'll make your day real quick. It is the final year of his contract, so.
It should be the final day of his contract.
I mean, obviously, once this Seider thing works out, and then we'll go down the line of we got signed Eric Gustafson to 2-year, $2 million, which I don't mind.
That's a gosh to spare like we talked about.
I don't mind it.
No, not a bit.
So, and then we still got Justin Hull, who was thrown in the healthy scratch world the majority of the year, which I didn't understand. I thought whenever he would play, he definitely outplayed Petrie's, but
I don't think he's worth the money we're giving him.
No, he's definitely not. Not 3.4 to sit in the press box every night. No, thanks.
Yeah.
Olimata, I like Olimata.
He's solid. He's good third pair.
I've always liked Olimata.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, once Seider comes back into the mix, because he definitely will be coming back into the mix eventually.
Yeah.
So I definitely do think that the two on the out is either going to be Petrie or Justin Hull.
Not ashamed of either one.
So, but I would love to see the first pair of Edvidson and Seider, and then you put, I guess, Sherratt with Gustafson.
Not bad. And then you put Mata with either Hull or Petrie or maybe somebody else from GR.
Yeah.
Who are you thinking? I think somebody they may have just have signed to their entry-level deal.
Sandin
Palika. I think he makes an appearance this year, buddy. I'm telling you right now.
I don't disagree. I definitely don't disagree, but I definitely think Johansson or Wallander is definitely going to
maybe
jump in first.
Look, it depends on how training camp goes. Really, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I totally agree
because he's going to be there.
I totally agree, and he's definitely going to get some preseason look.
Yes, he is.
So you never know. I mean, we saw what Seider and Raymond did when they came up for their first preseason. They played so well that they could not have them on the roster, and here they are.
Who's the? And I mean, maybe we talked about this before. Who's the breakthrough guy that you're expecting to see in training camp, offensively? Who's going to make the roster and or
like someone that's not already confirmed to be on the roster? Yes. Like someone that could make Mazer or Danielson.
I think Danielson's going to
because Danielson last year killed it in the preseason and training camp, and obviously he was just too young to. So, but I definitely do see him.
Well, and he had a good year again this year.
He's definitely going to be. I definitely do see him starting in Grand Rapids more than likely, but I don't. I was going to actually ask this question of who do you see in Grand Rapids making the most appearances via call up, and I definitely do think Carter Mazer, Casper, and Danielson as far as the forwards go. Unfortunately, I do think Soderblom is going to be a career AHLer. I mean, he was a cool project, but I definitely do see him as a career AHLer.
I think they got to give Lombardi a chance.
Maybe
let him try.
Maybe.
Let's see what happens. He's small, but you know what? God dang it, he is shifty. He gives you the Danielson vibes. He does.
We'll
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, we'll see about him. But defense goes, it's definitely going to be Wallander and Johansson.
Okay.
And then maybe Sandin Palika, maybe Tuomisto.
No. I don't think we see him.
Shai Buyum, I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah, and don't forget, who is in AHL as a goaltender?
Jack Campbell.
Interesting.
But I would like to see Kosa get some looks. He's had, ever since he's come to GR, he's been pretty well. He's been doing very, very well.
Pretty well, I'd say.
But as far as, that we'll lead right into goalies here. So the signing of Cam Talbot for a 2.2 by 2.5, and then you still got Alex Lyon in year 2 of $900K, which is a steal.
Yeah.
And then you got the walking medical sign, Ville Husso, who can't get off the IR.
Still don't know what's going on with him.
No.
But again, if you get a few starts out of him, that's a win this year because I don't expect it.
I've said this since the second Cam Talbot got signed. They signed Cam Talbot because, nobody knows what's going on with Ville Husso.
You can't rely on him. And Campbell's not going to be your starter either.
No. So they signed Cam Talbot because Ville Husso is still hurt which, what the hell is the issue?
I think his feelings are hurt.
And so, they're going to roll with the three Musketeers as a goalie. They're going to keep all three up, and then they're just going to scratch one a game. But I like the Talbot signing personally. wherever he's gone, he's always put up serviceable numbers. And I think it helps. It gives Alex Lyon someone behind him, kind of like what they were trying to do last year. They were trying to do, because Lyon, he's good and all, but he's not a bona fide starter who can go out and start 65 games for you. You got to get someone that he could split the time with. Mm-hmm. So because you saw he did play well around Christmas time and into January. Mm-hmm. So the winter months, he really played well. But then when it came down to like springtime, playoff time rolling around, you saw his production dip because you could tell he's just worn out. He's playing every game. I think he played like 20 straight games.
Yeah. Well, and then, Campbell, if somebody gets hurt, right, like he can give you 10 games, I'm sure. I don't know how well.
God, no.
I mean, he can, though, but like I'm not saying you want that, right? But at least he's played in the NHL.
I'm sorry, but if you get run out of Edmonton because you're a bad goalie, you're a bad goalie.
Yeah. But, like he did have some success in Toronto, not a lot. I knew that the whole big AAV deal was going to be just a detrimental situation, but I don't think he wasn't serviceable in Toronto at times. Granted, they had a better team in front of him, but again, I don't know if Husso steps on the ice this year. There's something weird going on.
We'll find out Thursday.
We'll
find out Thursday if he steps on the ice at training camp. Yeah. I guess that'll be a good sign if he does.
For sure. And now you've got 4 goalies that have played in the NHL, which is not a bad problem to have.
Considering goaltending has been a problem.
Right.
Sure. But I would love to have like Hellbuck, because I know Hellbuck's been rumored to Detroit for years because he's obviously from the Detroit area.
He is. But he's getting older now, too. And he had a good year last year. I mean, obviously.
Didn't he win the Vezina?
Yeah, he had a good year
he
last
had a
year.
decent year.
But I mean, like, what version of him are you going to get? You know what I mean? Are you going to pay him for what he did before? Are you going to, it's hard to say.
But I was just talking in general. Like, I would just love to have one of those, like, blue-chip goalies in the league, like Shesterkin or, Hellbuck. Vasilevsky, Jake Ottinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me one of those guys.
I'm in.
Can we just like have, can I have that one?
We just can't have nice things.
No.
That's what it is. Not allowed to have nice things.
They have 25-year playoff streak. I think that's just the hockey gods. And you're going to sit down for a while.
That's fair. I hope our rise again is worth it, because it's been painful for a decade.
But no, let's give Chicago everything still. Not that I hate Chicago. I just hate, obviously, they had those great years in the 2010s.
Yeah.
And then that bullshit happened.
Careful what you say, though. We got Patrick Kane.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, it's like, but I'm not saying him.
Yeah.
And then that bullshit happened. And nothing happened to him. Obviously, Joel Quenneville can't coach anymore. Right. Even Stan Bowman just got a job, though.
Unbelievable. Can't believe that happened.
So that just shows that, Bettman loves his Chicago. He loves his Sidney Crosby. Like, it's so obvious. And then obviously everyone talks about the lottery being rigged. Sure shit. Who gets Connor Bedard?
Well, just gotta, it's all about what have you done for me lately. You know what I mean?
So, but I don't know. That's a whole nother day. But
I tell you too, we got we got Red Wings and such, that have really kind of shown us that they're going to have an interesting training camp. There's a lot of interesting position battles there, finalization of roster spots there. But there's something to be said. They just had their first prospect game there, and how'd that go?
So a 5-1 win over the Dallas Stars, which it is kind of sad that the Traverse City Prospect Tournament's no longer like a 4-team round robin like it used to be. It's just It's literally just a 2-game like weekend showcase against the Dallas Stars.
Right.
But they 5-goal third period to win 5-1, which is crazy. Names to be heard from last night: Amadeus Lombardi, former Flint Firebird,
right,
had 2 assists. Carter Geilander, the goaltender, who is I've heard is actually pretty good, 17 saves.
Yep.
Michael Brands. God, there's so many of these European names are tough to say. Nygaard, he was the draft pick this year, right?
Yes.
Yep, he picked up an assist on that one. So, and then let's see, did Danielson pick up an assist last night? I think he did. I thought I read his name. Okay, maybe not. Mm-hmm. But obviously, per Dan Watson, his comments after the game, he's saying that Danielson is the leader of the team because he played last year, And that's something to say because Danielson's,
sure.
19, 20 years old, and he's obviously
Right.
the leader of the team. They obviously look up to him because he's definitely going to be the best player on the team. And he's obviously leading by example, which is a great trait to see given the Red Wings' future and everything, to add that to the roster eventually.
Yeah, I think, as we mentioned, I think he's going to break the roster. I think he does, but the word thing you worry about is who does he push out? That's always going to be the key. I mean, you got some guys that have done it before, and I don't know that he breaks it right away. I think, they're going to give it a couple weeks, see how the signings work out and like this new roster works out. But he blows us away in training camp. I mean, he's going to have to be on the roster. Yeah, that's a good problem to have.
I mean, I would love to put it where it ties the management hands of like,
Right.
we can't not bring this guy up,
Yeah.
Because you got to think of like who on the ice is going to give us a better chance to win every night,
Right. Well, and that's what it comes down to is you're here to win. I mean, that's just the facts.
So obviously they got another game today against Dallas Stars prospects again. So, and then training camp starts this week. So hockey is back, people. Hockey is officially back. It's crazy that we're at this time of year already.
I know, it's pretty wild, and this is this is the bread and butter right here. This is the best part of the year. Hockey season, regardless of who you're talking about. Red Wings and Firebirds and Michigan hockey, which will be at some of those too.
Yes.
That's exciting stuff, but there's also another Detroit team that's kind of been on the rise lately. And who is that? Detroit Tigers.
The roar of 24, is it coming?
I can't believe it.
Is the roar of 24 coming?
Can't believe it. But as they currently stand as of today, in standings-wise, they're 2.5 games back in the standings. Again, there's no game 163, so if the Twins and Tigers tie, the Twins will get the tiebreaker. So technically, the Tigers need to gain 3.5 games. Last night, the night of the 14th, the Tigers lost. Twins also lost, so the standings did not change yesterday, but they got 16 games to go? I believe.
Let me go double check here.
So I mean, it's not impossible. That half a game, for those that are unaware, is basically because the Twins have a game in hand. So the Twins, should lose that quote unquote game in hand. Tigers are 3 games back that they have to win basically 3 more games the rest of the way than the Twins. That's really what it comes down to. It doesn't matter how you do it, who you beat. Tigers still got to play Baltimore another series still.
Yeah, and they go to Baltimore, I'm pretty sure, for it.
Yeah, so I mean, and again, they really need to win today's game. They got to win today's game, and they got to win. Which
means they would win this. They would win the series. Yeah, they would win the series over Baltimore, which would be huge. They put up a good fight last night, Saturday, the 14th. They put up a good fight.
Yeah,
they were down 4-0 going into the 9th, scored 2 in the 9th, and they had 2 on, and they grounded out to end the game. So they showed some fight, and obviously that's something you see from this team is that they definitely showed some fight when it comes to 8th and 9th inning, which is obviously a really good sign. And the pitching's been a lot better. So yeah.
Well, and and honestly, we as we had mentioned before, like the youth movement is fully on in Detroit, and I think that the team is starting to believe a little. I really believe that they believe that they can do it. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds really strange, but you need that. You need the team to believe they can do something, and I can tell you that they have not believed in doing anything in the last several years. But the pitching staff starting to look pretty good. This Brant Herter went out and had a really good game this week. Montero with the minimum batters faced, a few nights ago.
The almost combined no-hitter on Friday.
Yeah, Skubal, I mean, is just lights out, best player in the American League, if not baseball. Ty Madden's looked really sharp. I mean, so the pitching staff's looking good, and then you've got whatever you get out of Casey Mize is a bonus at this point because I don't know what's going on there. But Carpenter's been a stud since he came back.
Montero's on the mound today.
Yeah, Green has looked really good. Parker Meadows has had some clutch moments. They just got Wencio Perez back, a couple days ago. Veerling's had some clutch hits. I mean, so it's they really have some guys. Trey Sweeney's been an awesome acquisition from the Dodgers since they traded Flaherty. That's the only part of the Flaherty trade, that I'm excited about because, quite frankly, he's been lights out for the Dodgers, which sucks because he'd be a really awesome piece of this puzzle right now. But, at the time, I would have traded him again because we didn't know what we were doing, and I understand all the things. So, but Trey Sweeney's been really good. Colt Keith has been a beast. Jace Jung's been a beast.
Colt Keith had an RBI in the 9th last night.
He has just been what a signing that was. I mean, Scott Harris, congrats to you for getting in front of that because he looks like he's a bona fide star coming up.
Do you want to go to Kansas City to watch the games this week? You can get tickets as little as $4.
Well,
no.
It's amazing that
Kansas City's a long drive.
They're in the hunt.
Yeah,
they won last night.
Who? Kansas City?
Yeah,
they're chasing Kansas City in the wild card standings.
Yeah.
So, but
chasing
so
the Twins.
it's just so good to see. Like finally, Detroit sports seems like they're coming back to life. And honestly,
Pistons,
and is it shocking that the leader of the Detroit sports right now, of like leading this like charge of back to Detroit sports relevancy, is the Detroit Lions?
It's amazing. Would you have ever thought in your lifetime that you'd say that?
Nope.
Me neither.
I always, honestly, because when I was in 95, when I was born into just Red Wings dynasty.
Yes.
So so I always thought it would be the Red Wings just for my whole life. And unfortunately, my adult years have been very unkind to me.
Yes.
As far as the Red Wings go. But
I think that
they're on the up and
Lions
up.
are an absolute team to cheer for no matter where you're at. But in Detroit and Michigan alone, I mean, what a story. I mean, this team looks really, really, really good. It's amazing.
If the Pistons could get back in line, and obviously they return to like the mid 2000s or even the Bad Boy Pistons, and then obviously the Red Wings keep going on the up and up, and then the Tigers keep showing some life here, and then obviously I really do feel like the Lions are building something that it's not just going to be like a 1, 2, 3 year window. I'm really hoping and thinking that this is going to be a 10-year thing or 10 to 15-year thing where they're like building what the Chiefs are have built, because the Chiefs have built themselves into relevancy and to be like this top team every year for like the last 6-7 years now.
Yeah,
I'm really hoping that that's what these Lions are doing, and I really do think they are, given the pieces that they got and obviously the management in place, the coaching staff. Like they're not building for this 1 to 2 to 3 year window.
Right.
They're building to do this every year for 10 plus years, which is, I mean, what franchise wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah. I think we got the best GM in the league.
It's definitely looking like that. And I mean, it helps that I do think we have a top 5 coach for sure.
No doubt about it. Most inspirational one. That's for damn sure.
I'll run through a damn
His
wall
Applebee's
for him.
commercials are fantastic.
Who's
Cover
the-
your
who's the-
mouth.
Who
They're going to steal your order.
was that a knock at Connor Stallions?
Well, God, I hope so.
Indirectly.
Speaking of that, we were at a Michigan game yesterday, and he was out signing autographs at the game, which is just ridiculous. Absolutely crazy to me.
I don't know. We'll get into
Just
this.
feeding
We'll
the
get
hype.
into this into our Michigan episode here in a little bit. But
It's just
I have an
feeding the
opinion
hype.
on that. But we'll get into that
I hope
in
so.
our Michigan episode.
Fair enough. I'd like to conclude with saying, go Lions.
Yes.
Obviously. They
Go
play the
Lions.
Bucks today at 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
What's your
we are
score prediction
recording
there?
on today's Sunday the 15th. So Lions are on today at 1.
Score prediction.
So, well, obviously, since we this will be released on Wednesday, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, our predictions here look pretty damn good. I said this last night, and I said it numerous times. 31 today with, obviously, let's go Red Wings.
Let's go.
Let's go Tigers.
Let's do it.
And obviously, let's go Lions.
Let's go in
Detroit-
October. Let's get Tigers in October.
Let's go October. Let's
do
go.
it.
Let's go. All right, guys. But thank you for tuning in. Obviously, Eiserman, get those contracts signed.
The next time we join you, we better have Mo and Raymond signed.
Yes.
Come on, Stevie.
Yes, please. So I can stop worrying. But
Breck hasn't slept in a month.
okay, not that
He needs his
egregious.
beauty sleep.
Not that egregious. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Obviously, let's go Lions, let's go Tigers, let's go Red Wings, and we will see you all next episode.
Peace.